Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. Just getting everything set up right now. Let me see if I can get my Facebook set up, and I'm going to let me get this camera here working a bit better. Let me see if I can. Let's go live right now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Just starting. Just give me a few minutes here, guys. I'm just going to start I'm going to get started into today's session. Let me go live. Go live. All right, Samsung CI3U. Alrighty, let's go. Come on, let's go live here. Alrighty, fantastic. Alrighty, we are live. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's live session today. I'm going to walk you through and teach you I'm going to walk you through the story, the strategies and details about how I started trading, how I started trading the markets, and how I became $250,000 in debt when I first started trading the markets. So I'm going to give you the story about how I got involved with the markets, how I became $250,000 in debt from trading the markets, and what I did to actually dig myself out of that hole there. So just give you guys a bit of a minute to log on, and we will get started. So right now, guys, I am eating. I've just finished fasting. It's 2:00 in the afternoon here. I've just finished fasting. I'm eating greens here. So I'm starting off with my greens. Greens. This is also a couple of cups of egg whites and also full eggs. And then also I've got a big giant salad with some nuts and all that sort of good stuff in there. So, all right, guys. In about 60 seconds, I'm going to get onto the story. I'm going to get into the story about how I first started trading, how I went from landscape gardener to a trader, what was the story behind that, and also I'm going to teach you guys, I'm going to share with you guys how I became $250,000 in debt and what I did to actually dig myself out of that. Just say hi if you're just logging in right now, guys, and tell me where you're from. And we will get started. All right. Looking good, John. I've been eating healthy lately. Feels good and lost some weight. My only leak is drinking beer now. No problem, Poker 1989. No problem. Just before I do start, guys, I'm going to give you guys some of my top trading books that have really helped me. The Trading Bible, which is Trading in the Zone. So that's the first top book. Second top book is Market Wizards. Another Market Wizards book. Another Market Wizards book. So if you guys haven't used that before, and also How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market from Nicholas Davis. So really good reading. There are a couple of good books, guys, that I totally recommend you guys reading. So let me get into a bit of a live session while I'm eating my lunch here. I want to talk to you guys about how I got started. So let me get straight into today's session about how I got started trading. You see, when I first started trading the markets and I first started trading, I see. Let me actually go back here. When I was growing up, I grew up as a landscape gardener with, with my dad. And as I was growing up as a landscape gardener with my dad, what actually happened was we had a bit of a falling out. So then I actually went from job to job to job, car detailer, lollipop man, stop and go, all those different things. And so as I started going from stop, lollipop man, stop and go, and so forth, I found myself at a car detailer. I was washing cars for a living, earning around $400-500 a week washing cars at this time. Now, my girlfriend at that time, which soon became my wife, she was working at a lawyer's office. And so she said that she started looking online because she had some free time at work at, how to make money online and how to invest and all that sort of things when it comes to, when it comes to making money in the markets and so on and so forth. So what I did was what ended up happening was that she ordered this free DVD. You guys can probably in the past you order like a free DVD or like a free pack. They used to do a lot of it. They don't do much of it right now. So what happened is my girlfriend at the time, she ordered the free DVD. She ordered the free DVD and she got home and she actually watched this free DVD. Now it's I'm not going to mention this guy's name, but it was a guy and he had 3 hours worth of strategies, right? So my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she's working at a lawyer's office. I was working as a car detailer, washing cars. And what ended up happening was she ordered the free DVD. She got the free DVD and she watched it. And she goes, this guy talks about himself too much. I don't know. So she gave it to her father, and the father's like, this guy's an arrogant pig. He thinks he knows it all, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, give me the DVD. So I watched the DVD, and I swear, I watched that DVD like 12 times. A couple dozen times. I was so excited. Oh my goodness. I was so excited. And the reason I was so excited about this guy's DVD, let me bring this over here, the microphone, so you guys can probably hear me a bit better. There we go. The reason why I was so excited about this DVD was because I was now learning strategies, and back then it was called renting shares, right? You guys have heard of renting shares before, right? Like rent out your shares, or it's basically called writing covered calls, but that's basically what he started off with. Buy shares, rent them out, making cash flow. I had no idea what even a stock was at this time. It's basically writing covered calls. I'm like, this is amazing. This is phenomenal. Oh my goodness. Like, this is just incredible. So what ended up happening was, I watched it and watched it and watched it. He was teaching some property strategies. He was also teaching a lot of different strategies when it comes to, saving money and how to get money to start investing and all these different things. So what ended up happening was when I saw this, I watched this again and again and again because I was so excited about this course. And so what ended up happening was I at the very end of this course, he was promoting to get, it was obviously, it's like a bit of an introduction to his big program, which at that time was around $2,000. Now this is around 15 years ago, by the way, guys, around 15 years ago. And so what ended up happening was so what ended up happening was I actually went to the bank, and I said, can I get a credit card off you guys? They said, sure. They'll give them $500 limits to anyone, basically. So because I had a job, I was learning. Somebody's like, yeah, $500 limit. So and at that time it was like $200. It was like $499 up front, and then $200 a month to pay the rest off. So I'm like, all right, cool. I had no idea how I was going to pay it off, but I knew that I wanted to get this course. I knew I wanted to start trading. So what happened was I got the course. I bought the course. I got the course, And then I was so blown away from all the different amazing. There's all these different speakers on this massive program, big massive book as well too, to learn how to, just different things about buying shares and writing covered calls, renting out, making cash flow, and all these different things. And then there's big massive home study, which was not only him teaching a lot of different things, but as also this speaker talking about the stock market, and started talking about different technical analysis, which that was my first introduction to charts. I'm like, this thing's crazy. This is weird. Yeah, so that was my very first introduction. Now, from that, I didn't have any money, but one thing that I had a burning desire to actually succeed. So what I did is I actually quit my my car detailing job, and I said, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to find a laboring job. I didn't have to work 7 days a week to start earning a lot more money. So, cut a long story short, about a few months later, after getting this course, I landed a job went from $500 a week to around about $1,200 a week, working 6-7 days a week as a landscape as a laborer, basically on a freeway, planting plants and digging holes and all that sort of stuff. And in the meantime, what happened was I was studying this course. And then as I went on, I started realizing that, I didn't really have, I didn't really have a lot of money to my name when I actually started trading. And I realized that I wanted to start trading. And so therefore that's where options became very, very appealing to me, because I realized I can actually control options. I could buy options for very cheap, and I could put a trade on without forking out a lot of money. And that was my very first introduction to my very first mentor, who taught me about options and about buying options and technical analysis and the peaks and troughs. And so I bought his program, which is $5,000. I saved up the money from my job, and then I went and bought his program for $5,000. I did the seminar, did the DVDs and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. And again, that was my very first introduction to learning how to trade the markets, understanding the options about in the money and out of the money, understanding about trend analysis and drawing trend lines and bullish up day and bearish down day and inside and outside days, strong moves, weak moves, support, resistance, all these different things, a counter trend, all these different things that I started learning about. I started learning about the stock market and started learning about that. And so as I was continuing working this laboring job, which I started earning good money from, I continued to do backtesting and backtesting and backtesting and backtesting from this from this course that I bought. And so when I saved up about, I forget exactly how much money, but I think I saved around $5,000 or $10,000, and then I started trading with that. And so what ended up happening was, I think I blew that up, and it's just like that was just gone. I completely blew that up. And then something what happened was I came back, and then I started trading, and then I started trading again with my second trading account, and things started moving forward from there. I started doing quite well from there. I started actually earning some good money. I think it was around $5,000 to $10,000 a month on average. Some months it was $2,000, other months it was $15,000. Some months it was down $1,000, and the next month it'd be up $12,000. So it averaged out around $5,000 to $10,000 per month on average. If you know anything about trading, then trading is all about not making money every single day or every single week or every single month. Sometimes you're going to have a bad month, and that's just the way it's going to be. Most of the time you have a bad month because of you, basically, because of the way that you're trading and so on and so forth. So after a while, I started building up a bit of a nest egg, and so then I ended up quitting my job. I went and quit my job, and when I went and quit my job, I now was just trading, and I was only trading 1 hour per day. It was the last hour of the Australian stock market, and just looking for basically the way that I trade right now in the US stock market. Trade the last hour, but I was trading back then, and that's all I was looking for. And because I was so disciplined and so diligent, I was trading 20% of my account in any given one trade. I don't recommend doing that, by the way, when you're just starting out, because it's not a good thing. You need to be really, really disciplined and really diligent about the way that you're trading when it comes to that. So anyway, so I got to a point right now where I was building up 40, 50, 60 grand in my account. I was trading 20% of my account, being very, very diligent, very disciplined, and I started really snowballing from there. So anyway, what ended up happening was I thought, okay, right now I've got all this money. I want to go buy a house. And at this time, me and my girlfriend, who became my wife, we just got married. Now, as you know, like she was working at the lawyer's place, and she ended up getting the DVD for me, and so on and so forth. So she, her and I, we got married, and because I was the big shot, right? Like, look at me, I'm the big shot, and all that sort of stuff in front of her parents. Like, you know, I work from home, and I'm the stock market trader, and blah blah blah. The ego, right? So anyway, so I wanted to buy a place. I thought, but I want to buy a property, but I don't want to just buy any property, right? I want to be able to buy a property where, because for me, I'm a numbers guy, right? So my wife, she's like, she wanted to buy a beautiful place. I'm like, no, I want to buy a place that makes sense, that I can, you know, add value to straight away. I want to be able to make money as soon as I go in. I buy the property, renovate it, and so when I move in, there's about $50,000 or so worth of equity just sitting there. As soon as I move into this place. So I'm like, but how can I do that? Because if I buy the house for $500,000, say, then I won't be able to have enough money for renovations and so on and so forth. So I started learning about leasing options, you know, and and rent to own and all these different terms. And I bought this home study based on learning how to do this. So I'm like, this is awesome. Essentially what I did is I basically did a hey Hugo, great to see you, my man. So what ended up happening was I went in and I found this place very, very close to me that was doing that. It was a rent to own, basically. Now, rent to own simply means you're basically paying what you would pay with the mortgage, but you're paying it off, and basically, you know, within the 12 months of you starting that, you're basically paying what you're paying per week with that property, but without forking out the stamp duty and stuff like that. And then at the end of the 12 months, you can go to the bank, and the bank will give you Hugo, exactly. Rick Otten, exactly. That's who I learned it from. So I started doing that. I found this place, as I said before. Hey, is that? Hey, great to see you here, man. So what ended up happening was this. All right. So I found this place, and I showed my wife. I'm like, this is a place we can buy, but because what ended up happening is the money you paid every single week within that 12 months, at the very end of the 12 months, all that money you paid would actually go off the property. And so we negotiated the price and so on and so forth. I'm like, beautiful. So I moved into this place. And as I was moving into this place, the guy said, what do you do for a living? And so on and so forth. Obviously I had to show proof of funds and so on and so forth. I'm like, I'm a self trader. That's what I do. I trade the markets for a living. He's like, what are you talking about? Trade the markets for a living. I'm like, I'm self-employed. I trade the stock market. That's what I do. I said, here's my proof of funds. Here's the money I've been making on average per month. And I showed him about 6 months worth of money coming through and so on and so forth. And he's like, wow, you're doing really well for yourself. And I'm like, yeah. And my account was just growing, just going crazy from there. He's like, you're doing really, really well. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, would you consider trading for us? And I'm like, I'm not sure about that. I said, I don't know. And I said, if I did trade for you, then I would, I would need to make a percentage return. And he goes, what are you making right now? And I think I made 100 to 200% return on my account within about 100% return on my account within that 6 month period or something like that. 100 to 200, somewhere around there. I forget the exact numbers. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if I borrow some money and I guarantee him just a percentage return, anything above is what I keep. So I'm like, hang on a minute, I can do this. So he said, what if I gave you 200 grand? I'm like, I'll give you a guaranteed 25% return at the end of 12 months of that investment. If you gave me 200 grand, I'll guarantee you 25%, which is basically $50,000. He said, no problem. So what ended up happening was we agreed to that. I got a lawyer's contract to write it up. This is where I went completely wrong with this. I basically borrowed the $200,000 and basically got the $200,000 from him. And at that time, I freaked out because I never had that much money in my life in my account at one time. And so I freaked out about having this money. Not only was it $200,000 there, but it was someone else's money. And now I actually guaranteed to give him back. And at the time, I thought, yeah, I can do this. But the reality sunk in. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so freaking out right now. I just don't know what to do. I'm just, this guy's giving me $200,000. I've guaranteed him. Dimitri. So what ended up happening was I borrowed, so here I was doing well with trading, and then suddenly what happened was this guy gave me $200,000. I thought, if I make 100% on that, I've made 200 grand, I give him 50. I made 150 from basically his money. That's what was my rational thinking. But once the emotions, right, and that's the thing about trading is the emotions. It's the emotional side to trading. And so, you can't go from trading $10,000 a trade or $15,000, $10 to $20,000 a trade, to then going to jumping up to now having, $40,000 or $50,000 a trade, especially with someone else's money. And so now I freaked out, absolutely freaked out at this time. And so anyway, so I went to a seminar. And I saw this guy and I spoke to everyone around me and so on and so forth. And this guy was making on average of 5% per month. And I'm like, because remember, the clock was ticking for me. I personally guaranteed him an extra 25% of his money back, which is $50,000. So the clock was ticking for me, and I wasn't trading anything for a couple of months. I'm like, he's like, how's it going? I'm just like, oh, it's gone okay, it's good. It's like, yeah. So what ended up happening was I found this guy who's doing 5% per month. Like, I can actually give this money that I have and give it to this guy who I got off this guy for this house. Give this $200,000 that I basically got off this guy who I was going to trade for him and give it to someone else because he was doing 5% per month. And I spoke to a few people there who were actually clients of his, and they're like, yeah, for the last 12 months, he's done 5% per month and everything's good. I didn't realize at that time, I didn't really understand what he was doing. I just realized, I realized at that time that his strategy worked really, really well in a bull market, but any flash crash or any pullback in the market would be devastating to this. The reason, and then long story short, but I realized that the reason why he was making 5% of his account because he was doing a lot of very bullish strategies and loading up a lot of the account on a lot of bullish option strategies. Now he was trading the European. He was just basically trading the European market. I think it was the DAX call options. It was actually credit. It was actually credit spreads basically, or debit spreads, debit or credit spreads. One of those. So yeah, he was basically doing core spread options. So he was hoping the market to rise. So what he was doing, he was basically doing these spreads at or above the price. So if the market rose, therefore he would, therefore he would keep the money and so on and so forth. Put options. It was a put spread. So the put spread, if the market's above the put spread, then obviously therefore he exercises, he keeps the money and so on and so forth. So he was doing it above the price, so the market actually had to rise because he was trying to get that extra premium. So anyway, so what ended up happening was when I went into this and I gave him all this $200,000, and I suddenly at that time, me and my wife, we're going to go on a bit of a holiday because we hadn't been on a holiday. I was doing well, so I took some of the money that I was making personally from trading, and then I went on a holiday. And then about 15 days later, after giving this guy this money, he rang up. He said, "Hi, John, we just got a margin call. The market pulled back against us. There's nothing to worry about, but I need some extra funds because they're going to give us a margin call, and we're going to lose a lot more money, but I need a bit more funds from you. I'm just like, I just gave you 200 grand like 15 days ago. How could you need a margin call already from me? Like, it didn't make sense, because the way that I was trading is like, if I trade 20% of my account at any given one time, the worst thing that can happen for me is I lose that 20%. I've still got 80% of my account there. How could you need more money, more funds? I never understood that. So therefore, and then I end up giving him about $40,000 or $50,000 of my own money to this guy over the space of another couple of months. It was 10,000 starters, and then it was another 15,000, then it was another 20,000, trying to keep this thing going. And I had no idea. I just believed him because he was the expert. I was just this guy that maybe just got lucky with trading. I don't know. So cut a long story short, about probably, I think it was about between 3 and 5 months, somewhere around about there, I ended up getting an email from him saying that the market has pulled back a lot. It's unexpected. We have to close out all the positions. Otherwise, we're going to be exercised, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the losses are going to be a lot bigger than what they normally would be, blah, 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 blah. So I end up getting back from that guy about 2 years later around $10,000. But at that time, not only did I lose around $40,000 to $50,000 of my own money, which is pretty much most of my money that I had, which is pretty much all the money that I had from saving up and trading well from the markets. And then also $200,000 of this guy's money. Now, by the way, this guy who I borrowed this money off to trade with for him, he agreed to give the money to this guy, because I told him at the time, like, listen, this is what I'm doing because he's doing really well. I want to give this guy and blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, cool. I'm happy with that as well too. So, but remember, I was personally at responsibility here for what happened, because I signed the contract and so on and so forth. So here I was, just moved into this place, started putting money into the place and started to pay it off and all that sort of stuff. I think it was around $600-700 per week for the rent to own. I put in about $20,000 into the place, and there's something to do with the rent to own contract as well too. Like, if you break the rent to own, then you're gonna have to pay, I think it's about 4 or 5 months up front or something like that. I had to pay a lump sum front up free, and it was just it was a headache, absolute complete headache. And so therefore I had to go back. Not only did I lose all my money, then I had to tell my wife what happened. Then I had to go to this guy who I borrowed this money off, who now, remember, not only did I now owe him $200,000. Wasn't my fault. I gave it to someone else. But now I remember I guaranteed him a 25% return within 12 months. So at this time, it was about 6 months later. He's like, well, time's ticking. You owe me. It doesn't matter what happens. You got to figure out a way to give my $250,000 back. And so I simply said to him, say, listen, here's the deal. I've got no money. I lost all my money to this guy as well too, trying to keep this thing going as well too. And I said, one, you've got to take your house back for the lease to own, because I can't keep paying it. He's like, well, contract says you're going to pay blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, well, you know what? You can exercise that contract, but you're not going to get anything from me. And I said, you either have two options here. One, you send me bankrupt because I can't afford to pay the rest, because I started renovating the place and doing this sort of stuff at the place as well too. You send me bankrupt and you get nothing, or secondly, you give me a bit of time, and I need some more time to start to get some funds back, to start the trade again for myself without having this pressure on myself, so I can start giving you some funds back. So first, you bankrupt me, you get no money, or secondly, you give me a bit of time and I'll start to actually pay you some money back. And I'll start to pay you month by month by month. So that was, and so therefore I was, $250,000 in debt, plus my money as well too. But I didn't really, that I wasn't in debt to that. That was just money that I had there. And so therefore I lost it. So I wasn't in debt to that. That was just money that I had. And so I ended up selling everything up. I sold the house. I sold the garden gnomes. Not the house. I just gave the house back and so on and so forth. I still had to pay him back eventually for the house, the end of the contract fee. But I had to sell all the furniture. I had to sell my wife's brand new BMW. It wasn't brand new, it was secondhand, but it was her BMW. And I had to move back into my mother-in-law. I had to move in with my mother-in-law at the time in her spare bedroom in an old mattress. And so therefore, and I had an old laptop, and then I asked her if I could actually start to use her office. And I know that I have to use her office to to start trading again and so on and so forth. I told her, and I negotiated the deal with my mother and father-in-law that, listen, I need 8 months of rent-free, and at the end of the 8 months, I'll pay you everything up. So if it was, just say it was for me and my wife at the time, just say it was $2,000 a month to stay there with her. For me and my wife, that was including food, expenses, all that sort of stuff. Then 2 times 8, whatever that is, at the end of the 8 months, I owed her that much money at the end. But I needed that space to get my head clear to be able to start trading again. And luckily, she said yes. So here I was. I got a break from this guy. He said, "Look, I'm going to give you a bit of time." I got a break from my mother-in-law. So I brought my laptop open, and then I had a computer monitor to the left of me. That's to the left of me. And I started trading. It was actually a black and white monitor, and I started trading again. And this is when I first got an introduction to E-minis, the E-mini S&P 500, the E-mini Nasdaq, and so on and so forth. And how I got an introduction to this was I actually had to go back to work to start earning money, but I didn't want to get a laborer's job. So what it is, I actually went to work for a company who promoted all these trading and investing speakers. So this company would promote all these different speakers around trading the market and the stock market. I'm like, I want to be involved with this thing. This is what I'm passionate about. And because I made that decision to go there, and basically I made money was I was a sales guy, right? So I'd call up and I'd talk to people. I was like, okay, well, you know what? This is because I knew a lot about the markets at the time. I'd talk to them like, you know what? I recommend you having this course. I recommend you having this course because this course is going to teach you this and this. And so then I'd sell them the course. They'd buy it and so on and so forth. And yeah. And so so therefore it's so good because now I was earning money with no pressure. I was also still doing my trading because remember I was still only trading an hour per day at the end of the day. So doing all my trading in the office, and I was talking to people about trading. I was learning about trading, and because I had access to all these home studies for free as well too. I started learning about all these different things as well too, and I immersed myself in it. Absolutely immersed myself in it, and so then from that process, I started earning money. I started getting money back into a trading account as well too because the pressure was off. I started shrinking my trading down to 5% per trade. My average profit was around 50 to 80%. My average loss was 20 to 30%. I got about a 65 to 70% win-loss ratio. And then it started to snowball from there. But I ended up getting fired from that job because all I did is wanted to keep talking to these people about trading the markets. And I wouldn't make a sale. I just wanted to talk to people about trading because I was so passionate about it. So it's like, get out of here. You're not making me any money. Because at the start, I was trying to make some money. So at the start, I was trying to make some money to fund my trading account so I could start trading again. Because I knew if I just put my mind to this, I knew that I could get going. And then from that process as well too, I ended up getting some private coaching. From private coaching from a private millionaire trader. I'm not going to mention his name. And he really set me straight. He gave me a plan of exactly how he's made millions over the last 5 years of being involved with the markets and exactly what he needed to do and really focus on. I really took everything aboard of him, and I just started going from there. And then what ended up happening I'll put it this way: at the end of the 8 months. At the end of the 8 months, I actually paid my mother-in-law all the money that I owed her, and then I had enough money saved up from the job, and also my trading was starting to go well as well too again because the pressure was off. That I moved into my own house as well, bought a new car, family car. I just had my son, and so on and so forth. But at that time, as this was happening, that's when I really started going overboard from trading, because then I started learning about E-mini S&P and the futures and Forex and all that sort of stuff. And so therefore I got 7 screens, 2 laptops. I started trading the futures all night, the E-mini futures all night. I started trading the NASDAQ, E-mini NASDAQ as well too. And then I started trading other futures such as orange juice and soybeans and all those other futures markets as well too. Trading anywhere down from a 44 tick chart right up to a 15-minute chart. So 1 minute chart, 2 minute chart, 5 minute chart, 15-minute chart, because my setup was working on every single day from one of these charts. I just needed my setup, and then I was trading it. As long as I had good risk management, 70% of the time I was going to do well. So I kept trading, started trading the Forex market as well too, and everything just started going well because I had this one system that worked on the chart, and I could apply it to any market out there in any time frame. And so therefore I end up trading about 15, 16, 20 hours, about 15, 16 hours a day, sometimes 12 hours a day. On the weekend, I caught up with sleep. And then that's when I ended up getting hit with cancer because I wasn't taking care of myself. And my relationship was out of control. My wife wanted to divorce me at the time. I spent no time with my kids, and it was just absolutely horrible. And it was at this time that I realized that I needed to start changing some things. By the way, guys, within this story, I started paying around $10,000 a month back to this guy, and I paid him all back, and that's all taken care of as well too. The house deposit as well too, and all that sort of stuff, and all his money, I paid him all back. I was very fortunate that I negotiated a contract where I just paid him back the principal, not the interest that I actually owed him. So he got all his money back, and so then I started trading from there. And things grew from there. And at that time when I was doing this is around 2008, 2009 when things started to pick up for me. And then everything started to pick up for me. I started doing around, from memory, I remember one month that I did around $30,000 a month at that time. And around $30,000 a month on average. Some months I was down $5,000. Other months I was up $40,000. Then I was $15,000. Then I was $5,000, and then I was $25,000, and then I was $40,000, and that's how it happened with the months on average. So on average, around $30,000 a month if you averaged it out, maybe $30,000 a month, trading all these markets. And then I started growing and growing my house. I moved to the beach. And we got a new car as well too, and then that's when everything started to fall apart with my health. Got the cancer. The doctor gave me 6 months to live, and so at that time that I decided I decided I need to start changing my hours, how I'm trading, and also secondly I need to start balancing it out and spending time with my wife and spending time with my kids and spending time looking after myself, give myself self-love, the gym and all that sort of stuff. And what ended up happening was, the doctor gave me 6 months to live when it was lymphatic cancer. You'll be able to see, if you type in John Howe Cancer into YouTube, you'll be able to see the videos that I did at that time when I actually had the cancer. So you'll be able to see the lump on my neck and all that sort of stuff as well too. So guys, give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this story so far. And share it out and all that sort of stuff. Just give me a thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. So one thing I want to... Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. So, and that's how I started slowly developing into the trader I am today. And it took me many, many, many years to figure it out. But that's the reason why now I trade an hour in the morning, which for me is Australian time. So I trade the last hour of the US stock market. I scan thousands and thousands of stocks every day. I look for the best trading opportunities that day. I don't always have a trade every day. Today I got into 2 trades. Some days I have no trades. Some days I have trades. But I look for the best opportunities, trading the exact same system I was before. And now I just focus on doing that, and I'm still trading options. because options can give you a really, really good leverage. You know, if you know if you know how to trade well, you know, you can keep your losses quite small. You know, maybe 30 to 40% trading options. And if it works for you, you can pick up 90, 100%, sometimes a couple of 100% return. You know, when trading the markets. And so therefore that's what I focus on. I focus on doing that and trading well and trading very high probability setups. My average win-loss ratio right now is around 70 to 80%, on average, that is. Sometimes I absolutely just screw up and I take trades I shouldn't, and therefore I have like a 50-50 win-loss ratio. But the trades that meet my plan 100% give me around about a 70 to 80% win-loss ratio. And then from that, so now, and then my goal right now, guys, after all that time, that's basically my journey for the last 15 years, by the way. My goal right now is just to get better and better and better at trading the system and no matter what, just sticking to that system. See, one of my problems is that I find having patience is hard sometimes for me. And so therefore, if I don't have a trade for a week or two, I'll start taking trades and start making a story up to take these trades. And at the end of the day, those trades are always losers, always losers. So the more I can just stick to the plan, the more I know I'm just going to keep making money long term. My job is just to take those setups that I know are very good setups, have good risk management because I don't know which trade is going to work out, and just keep taking those setups again and again and again. And over a series of 20 trades of the exact same setup again and again and again, out of 20 trades, that's where I'm going to get my win-loss ratio. And some blocks of 20 trades, I'm going to have a 60% win-loss ratio. And other blocks of 20 trades, I'm going to have an 85% win-loss ratio. My lowest win-loss ratio is about 65%. My highest has been about 90%. And so I'm yet to have 100% success rate in 1 month. That may be this month. I don't know. I've been in 4 trades this month so far. I'm still in 3. I've been in 4 trades. I've got out of 1 for a profit. I'm still in 1 from about a week ago. So I'm still in that trade right now, and I got into 2 this morning. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I may be on that journey right now. So it doesn't matter to me. My job and my role as a trader is to only take those setups and also continue to backtest and research so I can get better at identifying these really good quality setups. Backtesting and researching and backtesting and researching and backtesting and getting really, really good. What is about this setup that makes it really good? And what about it, and so on and so forth? And where is it in the markets and so on and so forth? And what about my moving averages and the volume? And how does that all come into play? And getting much better and getting much better and much better at that. And my job is then just to wait for those setups that I know in the back of my mind, and know in my absolute soul and heart, they're going to work for me most of the time. My job as a trader is just to take those trades only with good risk management and good discipline, i.e. take the trades when I see it, no matter what I think, hope, or fear, and then go from there. Guys, give me a yes in the chat box if you understand exactly what I'm saying here, right? This is what it takes to be a successful trader. It's not really the trading system. I believe every single trading system out there, really does work. It's up to us to find out what about this system makes it work. What is about this setup that makes it work? We not putting too much money on per trade, and and all this sort of things. That's the thing. The reason why most people don't do well in the markets. And the reason why I've totally screwed up sometimes in the past, and I'm the first person to say that. The reason why I've totally screwed up in the past is because sometimes I've taken trades that I shouldn't. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I know I shouldn't take this trade. And secondly, I get so egotistic that I actually put too much money in the markets because I'm trying to make a lot of money really quickly. And every time I do that, either A, take a trade I shouldn't, or B, put a lot of money in the markets, I now become emotionally unbalanced. I don't trade well. I get out too early. Even though I may take a trade that meets my plan 100%, if I put in too much money, if I put in too much money, or if I put in too much of my account percentage term, which is hitting up against my emotional comfort zone, which means I'm not happy with this risk right now, guess what? I'm not going to be able to trade sensibly. I'm not going to be able to be emotionally controlled. And so therefore, I may get into it. It may pull back for me a couple of days, and my system says you need to stay in right now because majority of the time it does continue running on for you because that's the rules. I may quickly jump out. I may quickly jump out of the markets, and guess what? It runs on for me. That's happened twice to me this year. I traded like 3 times the amount of money that I would on a trade. I get into it because I was so nervous. As soon as it went against me a little bit, and my system said, stay in, still give this bit of time. And I got out for a loss, a 30% loss or something. And guess what? And then a week later, it ran on. Where if my plan says stay into this thing. So that's what it takes, guys, to be a successful trader. And if you can start doing that, you can do well for the market. No matter what your system is. 1, what is your exact chart setup and exact entry bar you're looking for? Secondly, do you know you're absolute in your soul that because you've done your back testing, you've done your research, that setup really works for you? What is your average win-loss ratio? How are you trading it? Where's your stop going to be? What to expect when you get into the trade? Once you get into the trade, what can you expect? Right? So, and what I mean by what to expect is that some people, like, if I get into a trade, I know more than 50% of my trades either go sideways or pull against me first before it runs on. And then the other 50% run on for me really, really quickly. So I know in the back of my mind, okay, what to expect when I'm in a trade. 1, a small percent of these trades are going to just go against me really quickly, and I'm going to get stopped out. That's just the way it is. Secondly, it's going to run on for me really, really quickly, and if that happens, guess what? I'm taking the profit. Like a trade I did this week, I got into it the very next day, it ran on for me, 33% profit. Boom! Thank you very much. Took that off the table. Or either thirdly, I know it's probably going to go sideways, maybe small little pullback. It's not going to get anywhere near my stop loss area, and my job is just to stay under those trades and give it 1 or 2 or 3 weeks for that trade to eventually plan out. And that's how you do well in the markets, guys. So, So let me answer Let me answer a few questions here, guys. And guys, for you guys that have heard most of my story, guys, give me a yes in the chat box if you really enjoyed my story and sharing how I got involved with the markets and all that sort of stuff as well too, and where I am today in my own trading. Let me now answer some questions for you guys. Guys, if you guys have any questions, now start piling them ahead, all right? And as I said before, guys, I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes all the time. I'm not perfect. And I continue just try to get better and better and better at these mistakes. One mistake that I need to stop doing is not taking trades that don't meet my plan. Well, as simply as that. But I'm getting a lot better at that. Hugo, my man, are you still in the room? Hey, Brian, how are you doing? All right, so let me go through here. Hugo, but how grateful are you now for those experiences? At the time, it must suck big time. Yeah, Hugo, yeah. So, now what I didn't go into absolute detail about everything, guys. In between that, I ended up getting a divorce with my wife at the time because this was just after me just starting to get ahead. After I moved out of my mother-in-law's place, ended up getting a divorce. That was really, really hard on me. I had to move into a shared accommodation place, and that's how I had to start. I had to start basically from scratch again as well too. So I've been up and down a few times basically. Now that was about 7 years ago now. 7 years ago now. The shared accommodation place. So anyway. Yeah, I'm so grateful for those experiences, Hugo. I really, really am. And most people are like, well, I don't want to fail. Like, I think the pain of losing money in the markets is that's what's going to make you stand up and say, okay, what am I doing here? I can't keep doing this. I just keep losing money. What am I doing wrong? A lot of people say, well, a lot of people do this. They're like, it was you, it was the coach, it was the system, it was do. It's all that sort of stuff, right? That's what a lot of people do when it comes to trading, and therefore they don't get the growth. Me, no matter what happens, like I've got 2 millionaire mentors right now that I listen to. One is driving me nuts right now because it's just been a pain in the ass. And so yeah, but my job is just to keep getting better and better and better. Let me answer some questions now, guys. And then I'll finish up from there. But no matter what happens, guys, no matter what happens, don't ever quit. Don't ever quit. Keep taking responsibility for yourself. Don't blame anyone else saying, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to improve on? Go back to the basics. Do I have a chart set up? Do I have a trading plan? A chart set up that I believe in? Have I done my back testing? Have I done my screenshots? Have I started paper trading for at least a month in live time? Have I started trading small and started building my way up? If not, then that's how you actually get going from there. Hugo, how critical is balance, John? Yeah, exactly right, Hugo. Yeah, love your story, John. Thanks. Agreed. Do you trade currency? Lee, you're probably talking Forex there. I don't trade Forex right now. Sometimes I have done in the past to show my clients, my private clients, that the system that I trade works from there. It's worse when the ones you should not trade actually win. Exactly right, Hugo. Yes. Long term, that messes with your mind. Exactly right, Hugo. Hugo, it looks like you've done that a few times, my man. And now next time, right? You're like, well, I know I shouldn't do this, but last time I did this, last time I did this, it made me money. So why would I do it again right now? My eggs are going cold. I shared this beforehand. Eric, no, John, I don't know jack shit about. Can anyone in the chat point me to someone or a book to learn trading? Eric, are you still in the room, my man? Now, Eric, if you want to learn trading, I'm giving away a free trading course. It is a free trading course, man. I recommend just doing that. Like, go to one of my videos on the YouTube channel or whatever, or at the bottom of my other videos, and I'll put it on this once I've actually finished as well too. There's a link to a free trading course. Go click on that, and I'm going to send you about I've got about 12 videos to send you. 10 videos I'm going to send you, which is actually a free trading course. It's going to teach you the mistakes, the chart reading, the trading systems, the mindset. That's going to get you going. Right now, there's nothing for sale. I was giving away that coaching program, I was giving away that free course as a way of getting people to know me, like me, and trust me, and therefore want to invest in my coaching program. But my coaching program is closed right now, so there's nothing to buy from me. I have nothing for sale. So that's basically, yeah. But guys, just remember, okay? I don't come to you today. The big shot, the know-it-all, the look at me and all that sort of stuff. That's just bullshit, right? No one's better than anyone else. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're all human. It's just certain people have spent a lot more time focusing on the right things to do that. So that's all it is, guys. That's all it is. We're no better than each other. The successful people just continue to keep going, no matter what they think, hope, or fear. And no matter how many times I've gotten knocked down from the market and slapped from it, then yeah, I keep coming back. That's the only differences between people who do well and people who don't do well. One, the people who do well in this world, they take action to move forward despite their fear. Even their fear saying, what if it doesn't work? And what if you lose your money? And blah, blah, blah. You're like, I'm going to do it anyway. So that's all. But when I'm no better than you and you're no better than me, and you know, Donald Trump or all these other people you look up to, no one's better than anyone else, guys. So don't put anyone on a pedestal. Because guess what? We all have flaws. We all fuck up every now and then as well too. Whether it's Tony Robbins or Donald Trump. I know that for a fact. Always good to hear how someone started. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Failure's a part of winning. That's right. Pablo, do you trade cryptos as well? Pablo, I don't trade cryptos as well, but I am looking to trade. I am looking to set up a CFD account. That's a contract for difference account here within Australia, so I can start to trade that. It's about 100 to 1 leverage. And so I'm looking to trade the hourly chart. So therefore there won't be a lot of trades. There might be only, maybe 2 or 3 trades per month, but I was going to maybe keep that on the side and have that there. But for now, no, I don't trade cryptos at all. If I was looking to buy some cryptos, use the basic analysis, guys. Use the peaks and troughs. Ask yourself, who's in control of the market right now? The market's making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Guess what? Sellers are in control. So therefore, the sellers are likely to keep knocking it down. Doesn't mean there's no buyers in the market. For you guys to say, well, if the sellers are in control, who's buying the market? There is buyers there, right? There's just a lot more sellers. And the big guys are really selling it down. So they'll sell it down, or they'll short it. They'll buy it back, and and so on and so forth. So wait for the cryptos to turn around. Okay, wait for the cryptos to turn around. If you're looking to trade any cryptos, wait for them to turn around. Wait for them to make a higher low. I know that sounds simple, but wait for the whole thing to turn around on the weekly chart. If you're trying to buy long-term buy and hold on these cryptos, wait for them to turn around on that weekly chart. Higher high, higher low. No, they're not going to explode to the moon. No, they're not going to take off, and you're going to miss your boat. Yes, it may go for a good run, and then it's going to have a good pullback. And then that's when you should get into it. Have a good stop in place where you're not risking too much on your account, and then ride the long-term wave. But right now the weekly charts, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower, and people are still buying it and buying it and buying it and buying it and buying it. I'm just like, just don't. I try to tell someone in my own coaching program, don't be buying cryptos right now because this is what the chart's telling us. And the Bitcoin, bing, 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 bong, bong, bong. Are you going to Robert Kiyosaki in Sydney on the 23rd? I'm actually thinking about it, Hugo. Yes. Since I live in Sydney, so I'm actually thinking about going there, yeah. What's your strategy when there's low liquidity in the market? My strategy is just to wait for my setup. I know that sounds weird, but I have a chart pattern on the chart. I'm going to keep this in layman terms. There's a chart pattern that forms in the market. Once I see that chart pattern on my charts, and then after that pattern, I have the entry bar that I'm looking for. Then I start to apply some rules over that. I'm looking for a chart pattern and an entry bar off that pattern. So I know exactly what I'm looking for. Then I start to apply my other rules. Am I trading with the trend? Where is the 52 point? Like I did a video today about the 52 moving average. What's the weekly chart telling me? Is there any support or resistance there? I start to apply my rules towards that one chart pattern. And if it meets the rules, I just take it. Because guess what? I don't know which trade's going to be a profitable trade. I don't know which trade's going to be a losing trade. No one can tell you up front. Doesn't matter how good you are, you don't know up front. And I guarantee you, the trades that you think are going to make a profit don't make a profit, and the ones that you don't think are going to make a profit, therefore you don't take it, actually make a profit. Hitting your head against a brick wall is all part of it. As long as you're learning, Hugo. As long as you're learning, my man. I bought shares in about 5 mining stocks in late 2015 and have not sold anything yet. That's all the experience I have in trading. Well, Brian, my man, all I say is this. One, you need to get my free trading course. So there's a link on my YouTube channel, or go to freewbstraining.com, freewbstraining.com. That should send you to the page where you can put your email address in, and then I will send you over the next week basically 12 videos, each walking you through each step about how to read the chart properly and all that sort of stuff. And then that alone will start to give you a bit of a guidance on how to look at the market and how to actually read the charts. And as I said before, guys, the reason why I did that coaching program, that free course, was a way of launching my coaching program for 5 people. The coaching program is closed right now, so you can't buy anything from me. So it's a gift from me to you, just to help you guys out. And if I ever do open up the coaching program, guess what? I'll be emailing your ass. But for right now, I don't. Yeah, none. Is it pointless watching analysts giving advice on TV? Jay, yes, it is. Yes, it is, because they're just giving your opinion. Jay, the only thing that matters in the markets, and trust me, over the last 15 years now, I've been involved with the markets, the only thing that is the truth, it's not the PE ratios, it's not the fundamentals, it's not anything like that, right? It's nothing like that. The only thing that matters is what the chart is telling us. The better you can read the chart, the better trader you'll be. Who's in control right now? Where's support and resistance? Is there false breakouts? Is there enough false breakouts? Where's the strength and moves? Do we have strong buyers, weak sellers? Is there any more dominance right now? All these different things about from the chart, not the moving averages or stochastics or all that sort of stuff. What is the chart telling me? Because the chart is the only thing that you can rely on. And the more that we trade and mold with that chart, the better trader you'll be. So analysts are just giving their 2 cents and their opinion about the market. That's all. Lee, how much money did you start out with? I think originally I started out with 5 or 10 grand, Lee. Then I blew that up. And then I came back, and then I went through basically the story in this video here, Lee, but it took me around 6 months or so to start doing well for the markets. About 3 months later, I lost everything, and then I was $250,000 in the hole by borrowing money and giving it to someone else, and everything I've explained in this live session so far. And then after that, it took me a good probably 12 months of getting myself back on my feet and working really hard and all that sort of stuff to start seeing some progress in my own trading again. So I would say really probably a good 2 to 3 years of trading before I start to see some really good momentum. I'd love to meet you there. Fantastic, Hugo. Fantastic. What's your opinion on the cannibals stocks on the TSX? Pablo, my opinion is what the chart is telling you right now. That's my opinion. Whatever the chart is telling you right now. And I know that sounds well, it's because the thing is, Pablo, is like I can't give you, one as opinion. That's my opinion. my opinion means jack shit right now. What I think is going to happen, who knows? Right? So, Pablo, that blatant statement, I can't say, well, I think they look good, because I guarantee you there's stocks that are going sideways right now and there's no one in control. I guarantee there's stocks that's in a nice upward trend and there's buyers in control. Or they're in the downward trend, a mixed. So you need to have your trading set up and apply that to every single stock out there. Read what that stock is telling you and only trade based on what that stock's telling you. Don't think, well, so many people have made the mistake of, well, gold is going to go up, so let me buy some gold stocks. That's total crap. The Dow Jones is likely to go up, so let me buy some Dow Jones stocks. That doesn't work like that. Now, yes, on average, some of them will, but you once again, you have your trading set up. I have a chart set up and I have an entry bar that I'm looking for. Then I start to apply 4 or 5 different rules. Am I trading with the trend? Am I trading with weekly chart? Is there any support or resistance? Is there volume? Do I have a good breakaway bar? All these different things that I'm looking for within my trading setup. If I have that trading setup on any chart, that's the thing that I trade. Because even though that gold might be going down, guess what? Some of the gold stocks will be going up. You just don't know. And you can never know up front which trade of your setup is going to work and which trade is not going to work. You just don't know. And therefore, that's what causes a lot of people to go backwards in the markets, including this idiot sometimes. It's like, I put too much money on because I think I know what's going to happen. I'm trying to make money so quickly, I end up going backwards. It doesn't happen lately to me because I'm now very, 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 very good with my risk management. So even if I have 2 or 3 losses in a row, I'm still good. What's the course details again, John? Hugo, my other videos there, man. My disclaimer, right? And then I say grab your free trading course, and there's links in the description. So go to my other videos, my man, or go to the YouTube channel. I think it's free WBS training. Let me just double check it here. Free WBStraining.com. Yeah, freewbstraining.com. Go there. You can grab your free trading course, and then what I'll do is over the next week I'll be sending out those videos for you. Basically, one video at a time. And the video is about half an hour, 40 minutes long, most of them each. So there's a lot of details in there. I understand the charts. Learn to read the charts. Got it. Exactly right, Pablo. Exactly right. And Pablo, I hope you can see that's not me being arrogant, but my opinion means jack shit. It really does. The only opinion that you should be getting your thing from is, forget your opinion, is what is the chart telling you? Right, Pablo? So once again, Pablo, you should go check out the trading course that I got, because once again, in the trading course, I give you about 3 or 4 different chart reading techniques you can start to apply to your charts, no matter what market you're looking at, to start learning how to read the charts. Forex market, futures market, Bitcoin, they all do this exact same things. They all make the exact same patterns. They all have higher highs and higher lows. They all have support and resistance. They all have false breakouts. How can you tell a false breakout? If the market's in a channel and has a false breakout, where's it likely to run to? All these different things. They all do the exact same thing because it's all run based on human emotion. So whether it's a 1-minute Forex chart or a weekly stock chart or a daily crypto chart or a weekly soybeans chart, they do the exact same things. They operate the exact same way. We just need to get much, much better at doing that. At reading the chart. Lee, do you think trading forums are a bad idea? Yes, Lee, I think they're a bad idea. The reason why is because they can sway your judgment or your decisions based on something. So, someone may say, this is an absolutely amazing idea. This is so good. This is the best thing since sliced bread, blah, blah, blah. Right? But at the end of the day, And what can happen as well too is that you may want to get into a stock. Like for example, there was a nice bullish trading opportunity that I had a while ago on Tesla, and I went to take that. This is a long time ago right now. I remember this. I went to take that, and guess what? All I heard was how bad Tesla was, and it's broke, and it doesn't make any money, and it's the biggest, shortest company out there, and blah, 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 blah. All these reasons, right, Lee? All these reasons why I shouldn't take that trade. But my trading setup said I should take a bullish trade right now. Guess what? Guess what happened? I didn't take that setup because I listened to all this other crap out there. That setup would have generated at least 100% return for me within about a week of getting into it. But I didn't take that trade because I listened to other people. Does that make sense, Lee, about that? So that's the reason why it's a bad idea, because no one knows. Everything out there in trading forums is just other people's opinion. My opinion doesn't mean anything. That's the reason why when I do my market updates, I'm just like, okay, what's the chart telling me? Is it possible to read the chart if hedge funds manipulate the markets? Yes, Jay, yes. I've heard that so many times. But even if they're quote unquote manipulating the markets, guess what? They all make highs and lows. People say, I can't believe the gold market was manipulated from 2011. Guess what gold was doing on a weekly chart? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And the sellers, the people who were the people who were like quote unquote manipulating the market, so therefore we couldn't trade it, they're the people who didn't even understand the markets. Guess what? As long as the big guys, the manipulators were selling it off, they'll continue to make lower highs and lower highs and lower highs and lower highs and lower highs on that. When the lower highs broke, that's when the whole game changed, and that happened back in 2016. So even if the chart's manipulated, forget the whole manipulated. So many people say that, and the only reason why people would say that is because they're basically getting into the market and they're trying to do well from the market. They're trying to do really well from the market, but they listen to other people out there, and then they say, well, I lost money because the market was manipulated. No, you lost money because you traded too much, because you got into something because you thought it was a good idea, not because you know it's a good trading setup. You didn't have good risk management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So even if the markets are quote unquote manipulated, they still make the same patterns. They still do higher highs and higher lows, lower highs. They still have support and resistance. And the chart is continuing to tell us a story. It's our job to continue reading that story as it unfolds in front of us. Fantastically, fantastic. Guys, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up or a share or something like that if you guys are enjoying this Q&A session so far. I'm just being raw and real with you guys, by the way. So, fantastic, guys, fantastic. And if you guys like this sort of thing as well too, after this is finished, give me a share or something like that. Share this out to your friends and family, because I'm just here to help you guys. Again, I have nothing for sale. There's nothing to buy. Oh, actually, in fact, you can go buy my Flow of Success book. $3, I think it is. So how many system strategies do you trade? And yes, that makes sense. Lee, I personally only trade right now one setup. That's all I trade. The setup applies to a bullish setup and a bearish setup. It's the exact same system, but flipped upside down. I'm looking for the exact same set of rules for a bullish trade as I'm looking for the exact same rules for the bearish trade. And as long as it meets my rules, I take the trade. 20, 30% of the time, I'm going to have a losing trade. 70, 80% of the time, I'm going to have a profitable trade. Which one's going to be a profitable trade? I have no idea. Which one's going to be the losing trade? I have no idea. If I try to pick and choose which trade I think is going to work, guess what? I'm going to end up taking the trades which are going to be a losing trade, and the trades that I don't take, which I know I should be taking because it's just an average thing, guess what? I know that that the trades that I don't take end up running off a profit. It happens all the time. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like if you guys have been trading the markets for a while, you guys have been there. Like you may have a good setup that you know is a really good setup and you don't take it because you're fearful and the thing runs off a profit. It's like, I knew I should have. Oh man, my nose is itchy right now. Pablo, the more volatile the market, the more profit there can be. Potentially, Pablo. But you got to, again, it all comes down to your setup. But generally speaking, the more volatile the market, the more the market's actually moving around. Like right now, it's been very, very quiet. When it moves into more of the winter period over in America, more of the summer period here in Australia, then that's basically that's when things are really going to get started heat up. But even with that, Pablo, again, that's a blatant statement. You know, I mean, it's like a blanket statement across the whole markets. The Dow Jones might be very quiet right now, but plenty of stocks are very volatile. You know what I mean? Like I got into a stock today that was up like 5 or 6%. What was it up today that I got into? 13%. Yeah. So there's plenty of movement. Plenty of movement. You just got to learn how to look for those trading setups and then take them. Have good risk management. And here's the key, guys. Your trading amount should be an amount where the losses are not hurting you and the wins are not exciting you. We need to have that emotional balance because it's about consistency of trades, not about one big trade. It's about consistency. So that you need to trade an amount on your trading account after you've done all the work, after you have your trading plan, after you have your trading setup, after you've done all your back testing, after you know all that sort of stuff. You need to trade an amount to where your losses are not hurting you and the wins are not exciting you. Because you want to try to stay emotionally balanced and just keep doing repeat. Get in, get out for a loss, get out for a profit, get out for a loss, get out for a profit, loss, profit, loss, profit, loss, profit. You get what I'm trying to say there, right? And so within that, you need to make sure to be able to do that consistently and repeatedly, day after day after day, you need to trade an amount where the losses are not hurting you and the wins are not exciting you. So you try to stay emotionally balanced as possible. And from that, you have a straight mind. It's not about making a lot of money on this one trade, but just doing it again and again and again. And guess what? Those small little fish that you take from the markets, at the end of the day, they're the things. They're the trades. That's the thing that's going to grow your account more than trying to make a big home run. I guarantee it. I know that sounds weird, but less trading equals more profit. Less of your account equals more profit. Now, what I mean by less trading is that stop trading a lot just because you think it's a good idea, and less of your account. Instead of trading 20% of your account, trade 5% of your account, and have 50% of that on maximum risk. Maybe 2%, or maybe have 1% of your account maximum risk. And just repeat. Hey, Mike. On the Facebook, Mike said, are you trading in the money options? I used to trade in the money. Well, it depends, Mike. Depends. Like right now, all my trades that I'm in right now are actually just out of the money. They're at the money or just out of the money. Where I got into a trade this week, Mike, where the out of the money was too far out of the money. So therefore, I traded in the money options and got in one day, got out the next day for a 30% profit. So just depends. There's no blatant rule with that. Most of the time I try to like trading out of the money, but if the out of money is too far out, then I won't trade the out of the money options. But with out of the money options, I also understand much more risk. So therefore, if I'm trading 5% of my account with an out of money option, I know that my option can be down 40, 50% overnight. i.e. 2.5% risk, roughly 2 to 3% risk on my account. So that's cool. That was actually from the Facebook. Back onto YouTube here. What is the set, e.g., trend, follow, reversal, etc.? That's more about just reading the charts there, Lee. And that's where your education is going to come into it, Lee. Again go get my free trading course. It'll start to make a lot more sense when you see all those videos that I'm sending out to you guys, and how to read the market, how to read the chart. What is your setup, e.g., trend following, etc.? My setup basically is a trend following setup. So I trade with the trend always. The best and most highest probability trades are always with the trend, always. So my setup is always a trend following setup, yeah. But I don't just jump on any trend. I wait. Obviously, I need to make sure there's trend in place. Yeah, and then I wait for a decent pullback, and then I'm looking after a decent pullback with the trend in place. Then I'm making sure that I'm getting in on a nice good setup that I'm looking for. Do you trade outside the US? No. I used to trade a lot of the Forex markets, once again, to prove to my private clients that, even the system, my momentum strategy that I trade works on any market out there at any time frame. And in my private members area that I have for my private clients, that I do weekly coaching for every single week, I've shared with them setups that actually, 1 minute, 5 minute sort of setups on the Forex market and crypto markets and 15-minute stock charts and all those different things to give them a lot of good examples there. Have you heard of a guy called, he has taught me a lot? No, Lee, no. So if he has taught you a lot, fantastic. Just remember, Lee, the most important thing is not about what someone else thinks, it's about what the chart is telling you. And if you can't understand what the charts are telling you, that's where your focus should be, on educating yourself and learning how to read the chart. Because the market is always telling us a story. It's just up to us to make sure that we are going along and continue reading that story. What is the chart telling us right now? Is there a setup? Let's get in. Next day, do we stay in? Do we get out for a profit? Do we get out because it's hit our stop loss? Repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Does this setup meet my rules? Yes. Am I trading the correct risk management, money management with this trade? Yes. Get in. Next day or next bar or whatever, depending on the time frame. Do I need to get out for a stop loss? Yes. Okay, that was a loss on the account. Do I need to get out now for a profit? Yes. Do I need to stay in now because it's not time to get out? Yes. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. The more we can get into the trader mindset of how to trade the markets, just remember, it's not about the one trade. It's all about probability. Remember this. Every single trade you take has a random outcome, but it's built in with a probability of an outcome. And the only way to see the probability of the outcome is to take that same setup 20 times in a row. And out of those 20 times in a row, without fail, you will see the probability. That's the only way. So, man, I've been going for an hour and a half on this thing. Man. Anyway, well, I hope you guys have been enjoying this session. For you guys that watch the replay, if you guys do watch the replay, let me know what you think about these sessions here. Let me know if you want me to keep doing some of these live sessions that I'm doing right now, and also what times are best for you guys as well. Give me a share out. Share this video out to your friends and family, people who you know that trade the markets, and stuff like that. And yeah, just let me know that you like this sort of stuff, and I'll keep doing it. If not, guys, well, you know what, guys, I don't have to do this. As I said before, there's no agenda behind this apart from just helping you guys out. And because I really do care. I know trading the market is so hard. It's a difficult thing. learning how to read the charts, learning a trading system, being patient, learning, battling with your own beliefs and being disciplined and being patient. It's a hard gig. It's not an easy thing. But the more we do it, the better you're going to get out of it. So with that being said, guys, man, my nose is itchy as hell right now. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you. My goal out of doing these live things right now is just to be raw and real with you guys and to help you guys out. Hopefully you guys have learned some things. Once again, guys, if you haven't got the free trading course right now, go grab it. It's about 12 videos long. Plus also I've got a 90-minute training session walking you through 7 things and stuff like that. Anyway, so you'll be able to see over the next week when you go there. I'll be able to send those things out to you over the next week. 1 video per day, or actually 1 to 2 videos per day, and you'll be able to see that there. So freewbstraining.com. Once you go to that one, that'll divert you to the membership registration page, and then you'll be able to get your free trading course from there. After you put your email address in, you'll be sent to the very first video, and then over the next week, you will be getting about 2 videos per day that'll set it up for. So 1 video at a time, so you can see it, but 2 videos per day, and over the space of basically 6-7 days, you get basically 12 videos of training. I'm also setting it up as well too, where you're going to get another. I'm going to set up a second week very soon with all this other free training I'm going to give you as well too. So I've got a lot of free training. I'm trying to help you guys. You know what, guys? And I'm being honest with you guys. One, I'm trying to help you guys because I know how hard trading can be. And secondly, I know the more value I give you right now, the more help I can give you right now. When I do launch when I do open up my coaching program, guess what? I know some of you are going to appreciate what I've done. You're going to know me, like me, trust me, and some of you guys will participate in my high ticket coaching program. I only open up about 5 spots at any given one time. So I have a small group right now of 10 to 15 people. And that's it. So that's my agenda out of this, is one, to help you so much that at the end of the day, that one, I'm going to help you so you can start to go out there and make a difference in your life. But secondly, that at the end of the day, once my hope is that I've delivered so much value to you that when I do in the future open up, that you'll want to participate and become an actual high-paying client. And guess what? Even if you don't become a high-paying client or a private client of mine, guess what? I've helped you out, and that's my main thing here. So just being raw and real with you guys. Anyway, guys, freewbstraining.com. Go. I'll put a link in the description after I've actually finished this live training here, so you'll be able to see all that sort of stuff. And also, make sure you go get the Flow of Success book. It's $3, and it's tap into the 19 powerful universal laws to succeeding in every area faster and easier than ever before, something like that. Anyway, so you're going to enjoy it. You're going to get a lot out of that book, guys. So go to Amazon right now, type in Flow of Success, or click on the link in the description, and I'll be able to. Hugo, have you read that? Have you read the Flow of Success book? Lee, I just read your thing about trading naked. No comment. Another session would be great to have a whiteboard and make up a chart describing how to read live would be cool. All right, fantastic. Mike, you also read it as well too. Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Well, guys, if you guys enjoyed that book, tell your friends and family about it. It's only $3, and I guarantee you, because as you can see, that has nothing to do with trading, but it has everything to do with trading. There's so many powerful universal laws that's going to help you in every area with that there. So send that to your friends and family and people that you think is going to help out there. Hey, how would you approach the charts and so on and so forth? All right, Pablo. All right, I'll keep that in mind. I'm not sure how I can do how I can actually view my charts at the exact same time as doing this. I'm sure there's some setup, but I have no idea. I'm not a technical. I have no idea how to do this. How to share my charts and the screen at the same time. I wish I did. Some people know how to do this. I don't. I just know how to put this camera up right in front of me, and go from there. Simple and effective. Like behind me. Yeah. Yeah. So, wow, guys. Well, I've been going for an hour and a half on this. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Afterwards, share this out. Share this out with share this out with your friends and family as well too. And I will see you guys on the next session. All right, guys. Take care.